Olá, bem-vindos ao Motorcycle Sports, eu sou o Diogo Branco e hoje estamos na Alemanha para o lançamento da BMW R12 GS. E tenho o prazer de ter aqui ao meu lado a Product Manager deste produto, Carina Höfler.
Yes,
Did
hi.
I say it right?
Yes, absolutely, Diogo.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome to Motorcycle Sports. So when you started thinking about this R12, what was the intentions, the goal that you had?
So, as you know, we created a whole family around this product, the R12 family with the R12 9T and the R12 Cruiser. And this bike was always in our minds to create an authentic enduro bike.
Yeah.
And of course, the R80 GS, the old bike, the first one we ever launched, was always in our minds. So we wanted to close the circle to a puristic enduro riding experience.
And you can see it in the design as well, right?
Absolutely. So this bike is really, especially in this color,
Yeah.
it's a pure homage to the R80 GS with the red seat bench, the color scheme on the fuel tank.
Yeah.
And yeah, you notice if you see the bikes next to each other,
Yeah.
they are perfectly aligned and perfectly, like grandmother and
granddaughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where was that line? So between the homage that you wanted to do it with a retro bike, but I'm sure you wanted to give it like a modern look, modern technology. So
Yeah.
where was that line for you guys?
So it should look retro, but also modern. And this is also how the riding experience should be. So it's puristic,
Okay.
but of course very good. It's a BMW. The line was to have the perfect components to give the best riding experience, but not too much technology concerning electronic chassis and something like that.
Yeah.
So this is also why we have the round clocks and also the round headlights. These are retro design
Yeah, of
elements. They are modernly interpreted, but you have the puristic and the pure joy of riding there.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. I had the opportunity to test it out today, and I really enjoyed the road feel of the bike. It's really agile. It feels light. It has enough power for you to play around with it. It turns really good. So I really enjoyed driving this bike. But also, so this is an enduro bike, so I did see a lot of people do extreme things with the bike off-road, so big jumps and a lot of things. You need to have the Enduro Pro package to be able to do that?
So it's better, let's say it like this. You don't need to have
Okay.
it, of course, but the main difference is on this bike, you can see here, we have a 17-inch rear wheel. So, and the bike is a bit lower for street riding. And with the Enduro Package Pro, you have an 18-inch rear wheel, which is also better to trespass obstacles, and also for the real enduro tires. You have more grippy footrests. So here you can see it's a bit more street-oriented, and it gets slippery if you try to do off-road with that. Also, you have handlebar risers, which do a better job for ergonomic perspectives. So it's the handlebar is higher and more close to the rider.
Yeah.
And also the geometry is a bit better. And you have a fourth riding mode, which is Enduro Pro. And it shuts off the ABS on the rear wheel, which is also very cool for off-road riding.
So you could do off-road with the other version, but it would be better if you pick out the
exactly.
Enduro Pro package.
But you also can accessorize all these options afterwards. So if you have a bike with 17-inch, don't be sad. You can accessorize all the riding modes and everything. So it's possible to retrofit everything.
Okay, perfect.
So, but this is also my suggestion. If you want to have this bike, really make up your mind if you're going more on the streets or more off-road, and then choose if you really need the Enduro package. Because with the 17-inch rear wheel, the bike is not, it's better for the street use. And with the 18, it's better for off-road use. So how your preferences are. So
if you're somebody who takes the bike a lot to do off-road, maybe you'll get that one. And if you think that you might do it once or twice, then you'll have the road-ready package.
Exactly, absolutely.
Let me ask you, what was the biggest challenge that you had while creating this product?
So the biggest challenge, I think, was to create those looks in the same way like you have ergonomic requirements and also the functional requirements. In the early morning, I mentioned the fuel tank, for example. You have of course, it's a fuel tank. It must be closed, and you have to carry fuel. Yeah. But it also has to look great, and it has to do the ergonomics for you for off-road riding. So these are 3 requirements, which are not that important equally if you have plastic components in the bike.
If you had to highlight 2 things on this motorbike, what would they be?
The one thing is the engine.
Okay.
It's the heart of the bike, and don't tell anyone else, but this is the best engine we have. It has been developed over Euro 3, Euro 4, Euro 5, all those emission regulations, and this engine is really smooth like butter. Yeah, the shift assistant is amazing, and it makes so much fun to ride this engine. My second highlight is not a technical one, but it's the feeling you have when you sit on this bike. Because in my opinion, when I first sat on this motorcycle, it fits like a glove. So you sit on the bike, the footrests are where they should be, the handlebar is in the right position, and you can feel comfortable. You don't have to overthink anything. You just start the engine and go. And this is, in my opinion, a feeling that is worth a lot. Of
course, it should be always like that, right? Just turn it on, ride, and enjoy the ride.
Engine on, head off, and this is, in my opinion, really the perfect bike. Okay. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm just gonna say goodbye in Portuguese if you want to learn. Adeus.
Adeus?
Adeus. That's perfect. Este foi o Motorcycle Sport. Eu sou o Diogo Branco e vemo-nos na próxima.
Thank you so much.